Crunch time, coming up big when it counts. G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crunch Time, where we come up big when it counts. I am Saucy here with the great man Lukey. How are we, mates?
What's happening? How are we doing?
It's just the two amigos. Today we've got one fallen soldier, but the show must go on. And without further ado, we will jump into some topics, and we won't hold the listeners up anymore. But first topic we're going to go off the ranks with is one that you brought to light, Lukey, which was Topshot. They're doing some interesting things. I'm not sure if you also seen before we touch on. I bring up this little graphic, but they Clay Thompson. They were doing a giveaway with a Clay Thompson turned sneaker. I think might be signed or something. You had to. I'm not exactly sure how you were able to, qualify to for the giveaway. But I'm guessing it was had to do with something in having Clay's moments or whatever it was. So, this is something we spoke about with Topshot and with these licensed, NFTs and how there was more scope to do more, do these sorts of things. And this being one, which I'll bring up here, this window, and it was the playoffs on Topshot. So they're saying here, NBA Topshot is sending fans to every single NBA playoff game. NBA Topshot will host watch parties in select cities for the later rounds of the NBA playoffs. NBA Topshot will host 3 all-access exclusive fan experiences for the NBA playoffs. The NBA Topshot Captain's Community Program is launching, doubling down on Web3 and giving back to the community every step of the way. NBA League Pass will be given away to qualified international fans as they can enjoy the NBA playoffs abroad. Exclusive weekly Q&As in the Discord with NBA legends will continue throughout the postseason. So obviously, more layers to Top Shot. Lukey, you brought this to our attention. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a good bit of utility and them starting to really utilize that license that we've spoken about all season. They started off last playoffs, bringing some people to games and stuff like that and doing little events. And now they're just going to keep expanding on it. And that's the thing that I like about the licensed NFTs, especially the sport ones. Props to Topshot on this one. I really enjoy it. And it's good to see how they're trying to get the international fans involved as well with the league pass and stuff like that. It's not just, although a lot of the perks are for people in the States, there are a little bit for people outside as well, which is good.
Yeah, I think it's obviously something as they keep going along with this, they could do, something where it's, an international one only and it's an all expenses paid. Who knows, they fly you over, they put you up, they, bring you to the playoffs. I think eventually, you'll get that you'll get that as it goes on. I think this is just the beginning. And this is what we spoke about when you talk about these licensed NFTs, where they really do care about their brand, and the NBA do care about their brand. They don't. It's not just a random 10,000 generated NFT, 10,000 minted NFT that they could vanish out of nowhere, a la De'Aaron Fox or as we've spoken about on this show, Lana Rhodes, where they just vanished out of thin air and and pulled the rugs. But they, no rug pulls here, and they're adding more layers on top of it. So it's kudos to them, and I think this bodes well going forward. Whereas if they're doing stuff like this with Top Shot, well, how about something like UFC Strike, where it actually travels around and there are events all over the world of UFC, and that's going to allow them to add more fan experiences for that platform. So, all by Dapper. That you got to remember, Topshot was the first, so this is sort of like their baby, where they they're going to test things, and things that work. They're going to obviously bring them over to NFL All Day, bring them over to UFC Strike, La
La
Liga.
Liga when it comes out. Yeah.
So when it drops, so credit to them, and this it's good. It's good. It's
Yeah, for sure.
utility, what we want to see, other than just collecting a highlight, which is cool in itself, but
Yeah.
you can add more utility, and your collecting can be rewarded in actual experiences, and I think it's invaluable. It's invaluable.
Yeah. So definitely something that could. This is me just sort of thinking out loud off the top of my head. They've actually got Josh Giddey. He's coming back to Australia during the off season. He's doing a few appearances and stuff like that. I wonder if Top Shot would sort of maybe collaborate with him and do some sort of thing for Josh Giddey while he's here, or even Shaq. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Shaq it's a bit different because I don't know. I don't know if there are Shaq moments yet. Maybe one or two.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I
Actually,
do
off the
know
top
they
of my
had
head.
some legendary moments, so
Yeah,
Shaq
yeah. I
might
don't know if
be in
Shaq's
there.
in, but yeah, he's coming to Australia as well. If they see that Australia is a place where there is a lot of uptake in that, maybe they might Top Shot might run an event here. I don't know. It's just an idea I was sort of thinking. Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
pretty cool. If anyone from Top
pretty
Shot's
cool.
listening, definitely do that.
I'll be heading to the Josh Giddey event here in Melbourne,
Yeah,
and also the Shaquille O'Neal event, organized by the Hour Group, and Tyson Beck himself. So yeah, well, look, as you said, there's so much scope here. It would be interesting to see how this plays out, and
for sure.
and see where Top Shot, how they're able to use their license and add more layers. All right, now we will move on. Something else that was interesting that came across was anyone who has Zinta cards, and has a card Instagram, you've most definitely seen this account before. Find Your Trove, formerly Kappa G Cards. Frank, who runs or who started the page, has grown it massively. I think when I first started following him, he was only like 2,000 followers, and now look at him, he's like
Yeah, look at
22K.
him. Where's he based?
Now, he's based out of, I believe, New Jersey.
Okay.
I think, I believe. So,
Yeah.
out of there. But something that popped up was they're creating their very first card store in the metaverse. So, what that's going to look like, this seems like this is a bit of a demo here that they're showing. Here he is walking around. How or what you're going to collect in there? Are you going to be able to buy packs of Panini NFT and crack them open? Or
This
I
is
don't
so
really
cool.
know. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool if you ask me, and it's pretty innovative. He is the
Definitely.
first to do something like this. We'll go through and have a read. Trove, the leading content company for sports cards and collectibles, launches groundbreaking sports collectible store experience in the metaverse. Trove, the premier in Metaverse, the Trove meta property consists of 3 levels, which includes a baseball room, football room, NFT studio, and a top floor basketball court. Here, Trove aims to engage its passionate community of like-minded enthusiasts through interactive games, giveaways, live streaming, breaks, and other original content, which will be on display throughout the virtual estate. Interactive links will also allow individuals to directly pursue and shop for desired sports cards and other collectibles. We've seen the collectibles market explode over the last 2 years and has resulted in tons of collectors wanting to interact and connect with others at shows and shops. The world is going digital, and this is why we're creating the best spot in the metaverse to give digital collectors a special community experience, says Frank Herdja. I think that's how you pronounce his name. That's the creator of Trove, head of content at Trove. The innovative metaverse endeavor comes on the heels of recent launch of Trove NFT, further it continues the company's strategic shift into the NFT ecosystem and its mission to bring more uniquely engaging virtual experiences to the beginning card and collectible space by providing users with real utility and interactive content. We're staunch believers in the vast utility that the metaverse, NFT, and Web 3.0 has to offer, says Matt Sposter, co-founder of Trove. And by launching the unique concept in the metaverse, we're able to offer sports collectible enthusiasts an immersive experience that goes way beyond your traditional brick and mortar sports card store. While Trove's foray into the metaverse further establishes its digital footprint, the company doesn't plan to do it alone. Trove will be partnering with some of the biggest brands and platforms in the collectible space to amplify virtual experience of its new metaverse property. The company plans to announce its initial partnership this summer. So I'm just trying to figure out, puzzle this Trove meta property. Like, which metaverse is he in? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if is he in Decentraland? Is he in Sandbox? Is he in freaking Block? There's that many different metaverses, so I'm not really sure which one they're actually in. I do know that he most likely going to feature on some sort of podcast and find out more information. But your thoughts, Lukey?
When you brought it up to me before, I actually hadn't seen it. I hadn't heard about this, and I was sort of like, what is going on? But since I've seen it, then it actually looks it actually looks pretty cool, to be honest. And it's very very innovative. Um, yeah, no, shout out to them and Frank as well. Frank and Matt, was it?
Yeah, I think so. We'll
Yeah,
bring it up and we'll
shout
go
out to
through it
them for
again. So
in
have
terms
a
of
look
innovation.
there.
This looks sick. So he's got his room.
Yeah,
So what's
I'll be
good here?
interested. I'll be interested to see, how he partners up, with the likes
Yeah,
of potentially Tops or whatever it is, and
yeah,
what they're able to actually bring and what experience you're going to get in the metaverse, that involves cards. You know,
I
I don't
rate
know.
this. I rate this highly.
I think it's pretty cool. Everything's the metaverse is something that's sort of being forced upon us, whether we want to accept it or not. There are going to be people that, are going to be, this is just a gimmick or this is trash, but there are going to be also people that enjoy it. So, credit to them to obviously for being ahead of the curve in a sense that
Yeah,
they're the
definitely,
first to
definitely.
sort of bring this to light. Yeah, it does look really interesting. So it'll be pretty cool to see how that all pans out.
I
But
just think
yeah,
about it.
definitely.
Yeah, I just think about it from our point of view, like being so far away from the states and being able to go to like a central hub where you can chat to people from the other side of the world about the about NFTs or about cards or whatever in one central area like that. I reckon it's a great. To be honest, I reckon it's a really good idea. And what he can do with sort of partner, like you were saying, what he can do with partnerships, Tops Panini, even Fanatics with Fanatics coming in. I don't know what if they'd be keen on this. I reckon it's really really good idea. I definitely
Yeah,
rate it.
I think it just
It'd be
bodes
interesting to see what
well
you can do.
for him and the company because they're like innovative in this space. So
Yeah,
the fact that they're probably the first, and that's gonna get eyes onto them and maybe other companies will reach out to them and sort of they can be the pioneers
yeah, for sure.
in the sports cards metaverse space.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I
who
rate it.
knows where these apps go and the app, people have been saying like the likes of Panini Dunk and Panini Blitz and all those apps, they could potentially end up as NFTs, some of the
Mm.
cards that you collect in those. So how that all ties into the metaverse card shop. Who knows? Who knows? But it's pretty interesting. I can't say that as someone sitting here that I'm like truly excited to go in there and try it out, but maybe this is I'm yet to enter a metaverse. I'm yet to go in and experience one,
Same with
right?
me.
I'm yet to sign up to a Sandbox or a Decentraland or any of them, but maybe this is the the push that's going to get me over that hump to maybe put myself in there and try it out. Who knows? But
It could be
I think it's pretty. cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. It could be that for a lot of people too. Sort of, they might be a bit, what's the word? Sort of like skeptical on the whole metaverse idea. But since they like tie in another interest of sports cars and stuff like that into that, it could be like you're saying, something to bring them over the line and give like to give the platform a go.
Most definitely.
So yeah,
Most definitely.
should be good. Should be good to see what can come out of this.
Definitely. All right, Lukey. Now, we've got one more topic, and then we're probably going to wrap it up. It's a short episode. We're the bit strapped for topics, but we don't want to push you along and give you stuff that we don't think is that interesting. But we had a interesting chat before we went live, and then I thought we'll just bring it up. We
Yeah,
needed another topic to have a chat about, and that was, you know, um, the market of 2020 basketball market, and how that sort of played out, where you'd see a guy have a, a stretch of games where he'd go on a run and play outstanding basketball, and his card prices would fluctuate up, and then he might get injured and his card prices would go down, or he wouldn't play so good for a stretch of games and his card prices would go down. And the true hobbyists back then were trying to tell us that that's not a natural market. That's just
yeah,
this is the market of hype, of a lot of new people coming in, people not understanding the collecting side to cards, and that wasn't really how a market worked. Now sort of sat, we sort of had a bit of a discussion and was just trying to piece together whether that would ever happen again, whether we would ever see that type of market again. I don't know if we will, or that will ever be a thing again. I really don't think it will. But now where do we go from here? Like, what's the determining factor when card prices fluctuate? Well, what is it? Well, we have seen obviously success of a team can have a guy's cards fluctuate, but then also success can mean they don't really fluctuate at all. I mean, look no further than Trae Young last year. I mean, the team made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then his
yeah,
card prices barely moved.
yeah,
So how much more success could you have other than making it to the finals, winning the championship?
yeah,
And card prices didn't move. So we're just trying to gauge where we go from here now in terms of fluctuation of prices. What do you think, Luke? Like, what do you think is going to be a determining factor for a guy's card prices going forward now, in this time where you know we've gone past a good performance or a stretch of games
yeah,
sees fluctuation. Um, it doesn't really, Luka Doncic, for like, let's take him for no example. I mean, since Spencer Dinwiddie's come to the team, they got rid of Porzingis. He's been
yeah.
playing absolutely out of his mind, right? The Mavs are sitting in the fifth seed or something,
Fifth, yeah, fourth or fifth, yeah,
fourth or fifth seed, so he couldn't be doing it any better. But
yeah,
his card prices really haven't moved.
yeah.
Whereas, think about if that was 2020.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
think
no,
about what
that's
would be
it's
happening.
nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely agree with you. I don't know if we're ever going to see something like that again. That was a pretty unbelievable time. We were talking about it fondly, sort of before this, and yeah, it was just such a crazy time. It was almost like a stock market then, whereas now it's definitely back to where it was probably before that with the more of the collecting aspect and stuff like that. In terms of what could drive card prices these days, the only one I can really think of that's gone up a fair bit this year, or two, and they were both for first All Stars, so Darius Garland and Ja Morant. Their card prices have gone up. Nothing stupid like it would have if this happened, in 2020, but they have increased a little bit. Not so much in the base market, but more in your color and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's like, do we just now is the play now just going and buying rookies and just hoping they turn out, or like is that the go now if you want to start, like, making money? Because yeah, buying players like even Trey this season. Trey's having a great season. The Hawks are not doing the best, but he's still having a great season, and he's not having any movement. And if he's having movements going, it's going south. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about what can start to move those prices again. Although I gotta say, like, I feel like a lot of that hype that was in the market then has moved to NFTs. I think that boom there took out a lot of people from that.
Yeah.
Which we're actually, like, you started to see if you look at some Top Shot prices as well. Remember Jordan Poole in the preseason, he had a bit of a jump there. In
Yeah.
his just debut moment. Garland's as well. They were 70 US before the season, up to around 350 US. That's for his debut. Jam around. I'm not too sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, they're um two like that. Miles Bridges as well started the season really well, had an increase. So yeah, I feel like a lot of like that sort of, I'll call them crowd, like that crowd from that sports card flipping crowd has maybe moved into NFTs and trying the Top Shot and probably other NFTs as well, but more going into Top Shot. That's just my sort of observations.
Yeah, it's an interesting, way to look at it, and you did mention that. I remember chatting about that at the beginning of the
Yeah,
season, that you were following a few of the top shots and seeing
yeah,
that, a good start to the season was seeing certain guys' prices move within Top Shot.
yeah.
And I'm not sure if that a little bit of that correlated to some of their cards, in a sense.
I think a bit.
But
We mentioned two there. Garland's did. Garland went up
yeah,
in price. Miles Bridges, I think, did as well. Or people at least were keen to start buying his stuff. Whether, like,
yeah.
when you used to have it up there and it used to just sit, well, you're starting to make sales on eBay and stuff. So I think probably gave people a little bit more confidence to buy rather than increase the prices.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
I feel like a lot of that has sort of, that flipping from whether it be month to month, is maybe not there. There is
Yeah,
still opportunity when, certain guys maybe have fallen too much, and there's opportunity to maybe buy it at a much lower price than what it may have been, and then, you know just because it's dropped so much, it's a good entry point, and not
yeah,
necessarily because, um, for any other reason than, prices have dropped a lot, and that gives you a good entry point that there's room for that card to grow, to go
mm,
back up.
that's
Um,
true.
but yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see that again. I think that was
Nah,
like, I think that was just the craziness of the hobby boom, and
the bubble
people,
was
that many
unbelievable.
people coming in, and I think those days are gone.
Mm,
Now my aspect on what I look for, I'm obviously looking for guys that I think have potential. If I'm buying younger guys, and they're not, I'm sort of sticking to like autos. If I
yeah,
can find like a nice on card auto out of, I might not, I can't really, uh, I don't like buying the higher end stuff, even though that's the stuff that will move the most. If you're able to afford
yeah,
the Immaculates and the National Treasures and that sort of Flawless and that sort of stuff of guys, by all means. But, some of that stuff's out of my price range. So, I'll probably try to stick to like, an on card Spectra auto,
yeah.
or, an
Optic,
impeccable on card or something, or or a rookie ticket. They're
rookie
usually
ticket
generally
auto.
on,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
usually on card, and I'll pick up something like that. I've done that a lot with Patrick Williams. I think I have about 3 or 4 on card autos now. So,
nice.
that's sort of my play for him. But it doesn't happen overnight, like you're
Of
going to be
course.
willing to buy these on card autos and sit on them for 2 to 3 years, because it takes
Yeah,
time for these guys to develop.
yeah,
And, that's what I did with SGA. I bought those on card autos and I sat on them. I bought them in his second year, and I've sat on them and I've still got them today. And
yeah.
I'm doing pretty well out of them. Like, if I sold them, I'm doing pretty well. Probably could have sold them
Sweet.
more at the peak and I would be up even
Yeah,
more. But I mean, they're the stuff that has really moved. At the same time, like, I did buy a PSA 10 base rookie of his, and I think I bought it around about 120 US, and it got up as high as 400. And like an idiot, I didn't sell it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I should have sold it back then. I think I still got it today, and I'm actually losing money on it now. So it's pretty crazy to think that it went up as high as 400. I didn't sell it. That's my own mistake, and this is where I've learnt as a collector, or learnt as someone who wants to buy cards that are desired. It's not a desirable card. It's to be different if that's a color match prism that's numbered, or if that's a numbered prism, bit different. But a base, it's just, should have sold it when I had the opportunity, didn't. Now obviously stuck with it. But it is what it is, and you learn these sorts of things, and this is why I was just sort of, I would say, we're never going to see that again. We're never going to see there, and even the silvers, even just the base silvers, like even that sort of stuff, we hear people, Prism Silvers, it's such a liquid card, da 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 da. That was all the rage, in 2020, 2021, Prism Silvers, it's a liquid card, Optic Hollows and stuff like that. But even those cards,
I think Optic Hollows is still alright. I think the pop on it's low enough. Yeah. I think the pop's low enough on those compared to the Silver Prism, where like you're at probably, I'm just going to give a rough estimate, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 graded, like between 9 and 10. Whereas I think Optic Hollows is still 1,000 for the two, like 1,000 total. So I think they're still okay. Like if I'm going to buy either of them, I'm probably buying an Optic Hollow, to be honest. That's just me personally.
So there you go. It's just a discussion that obviously we had prior to the show. We thought we'd bring it up and just sort of, just be mindful when you're going into prospecting and buying younger guys now to, you need to change your mode of thinking and what you buy and what actually has room to grow. So, just food for thought.
Leave a comment as well. Thoughts on your favorite thing about the 2020 boom that we had, that little period around the NBA bubble. It was nuts.
Yeah, we could buy a card for $5 a base prism and sell it next week for 25. Like it's just didn't see that.
The one I remember is Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. went nuts for like 3 games in the bubble, and it was over. Like it was over. Oh man, that were the days.
It was crazy times. I don't think we'll ever see that again. I think there's a lot of those people that were in it for the flip game have obviously, you said, moved on a little bit to NFTs, and where it's a bit easier, it's a bit more liquid with stuff where you don't have to deal with postage and all that sort of stuff. So it's easy to flip things. But then at the same time, a lot of people that did get burnt doing that are still in the card hobby, have stuck around, have also learnt their lesson, and are a lot more wiser. Me included, and I'm sure yourself included as well, Lukey. I mean, I've got base prisms sitting in a box that I should have pulled out during that time and sold. That I bought, $1, $2, $3. I was buying Tyler Hero base prisms for $3, $4, and they was high as $40, $50. I'm like an idiot. I didn't sell them. I think I still got them today. They've just been sitting in a box, and I'll probably be lucky to get $5 for them now. But you learn, you move on, you get smarter, and hopefully you don't make the same mistake next time.
For sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another episode of Crunch Time, where we come up big when it counts. It has been your boy Saucy with the great man Lukey, and thank you very much. Till next time. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Crunch Time on the Double Coverage Media Network. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to know when we drop a new episode. Also, feel free to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Crunch Time, coming up big when it counts.